Hi. I hope you all are doing okay. I know that it's been a really rough few days. I've certainly been feeling it, and I know that a lot of you have been as well. And a lot of what I've been seeing on social media and hearing from people that I'm communicating with is that it's been really hard to know, like some people are like, let's pray, let's pray, let's pray. And some people are like, no, let's be in action, be in action, be in action. And I actually am one of those people that believe that there's a place for both and that they can work together really beautifully. So when we work with prayer and meditation, we're working with energy, right? And energy has the potential, it's non-local, non-linear. Anything that you are praying for or holding space for or meditating for in the moment in a certain place can actually travel through space and time to have a positive effect in another area of the world. And so I say this because it's really important not to underestimate the power of prayer and meditation, especially when we're putting a lot of feeling into it, when we're really opening up our heart centers and putting a lot of love into it. And there are actually, a lot of scientific studies that validate the efficacy of prayer. Gregg Braden is one author who writes a lot about that, and he was a rocket scientist who has, in the last many years, been exploring metaphysics and written a lot of books. And they're very easy and accessible to read, and I encourage any of you who are interested in seeing that connection or understanding more of it to look into that, because there have been studies where a certain amount of people have come together to pray and or meditate, and it has created powerful shifts around the world. In fact, violence has decreased when people have meditated together. And so I say this because it is really important for those of us who do believe in prayer to really be putting this energy out there right now. Also, through prayer and meditation, we can get clear on what we feel aligned with, which can be really difficult. One thing that has happens to me sometimes, and I know happens to others, is that when there's like a wave of tragedies or challenging events, like we have had recently, it's been one thing after another, and feels almost like we can't even catch our breath from one thing before the next thing has been upon us. And it's been really hard to know, like, what do I do? Where do I put my money? Where do I put my time? Where do I put my resources? And prayer and meditation can help us get clear on that. It can help us, especially if we get stuck in a freeze mode, which can happen to a lot of us if we get triggered by these events. It can help us to get clear on what is important to us. When we align with what feels best to us, we make the greatest impact in the world. So if we are aligned with giving money and we put a lot of love into giving money, then giving money is going to be very impactful. The energy of the money that we donate will be impactful. If we really love communicating with people or doing events, bringing people together to raise money, then doing that will be very aligned and will be very impactful. And so every time we align with something, the energy moves outward and it invites other people to connect with that energy as well. So regardless of what we're doing or what action we're taking, the ones that we feel the most aligned with are the ones that will have the greatest impact. Prayer and meditation can help us to get in touch with that. I know that in my somewhat recent past, I had a lot of time on my hands and not so much money. And a cause that's always been very dear to my heart has been supporting and helping women who've been the victims of domestic violence or sexual exploitation. And I have, in the past, I did that in many different ways, and I did it personally. I went out there, I advocated, I went to meetings, I provided free Reiki healings for women in a local safe house. And I did that all for a few years, where I was very, very active in those communities. As I got busier and busier in my business, I had less time and I had more money. And so I shifted into more donation-based giving, which has felt very aligned. I'm still giving to the same communities and the same organizations that I used to give to, but I'm just doing it in a different way, but my energy and love is still there. And I did that because that was close to my heart, because that's my personal experience. As a victim of sexual violence, I felt it was really important to put my energy and my heart in there. And it helped me in my healing process. And that was something that I came to after a lot of meditation, a lot of being silent with myself and listening to what I needed to do to be more effective in the world, to help other women who were suffering some of the same things that I had experienced, and many times much, much worse. So meditation helped me to get really clear on that. And when we're in a situation like this, meditation can also help us to get really clear. Prayer can help us to understand what we want and what's important to us. It can give us that time of silence to really align with what our heart is asking us to do. So when all of this happened yesterday, when I woke up and I saw what had happened in Las Vegas, and 2 people that I know were there, and I was very caught up in the emotional tidal wave of it, of course, because it was really sad and terrifying, and I mean everything. And what I did was, my initial response was to go into meditation. I needed to get clear. I asked my team, I asked Spirit to help me open up to becoming a greater channel of love so that I could be putting more love out into the world. I also asked my guides to show me what I could do, what action would be helpful for me. We're all different people. Some people are really great with phone calls. Some people are really great with emails. Some people are really great with going to physical protests. Some people are really good at donating money, and we all have a role to play in this. And if we take the time to tune into that role, then like I said earlier, it can be very effective for us. So I asked to be shown, and then one of my friends posted an organization on Facebook today, which I'll put in the comments after this. It's called everytown.org, and everytown.org is an organization that is raises money to work specifically in with gun violence and legislation, and how to make guns safer, and how to talk to people, and how to be out in the community. And there's a lot of different aspects to it. So I looked into it, I made a donation, and I also saw that there are many different ways that you can get information from them, that you can participate with them. So that was one thing that I wanted to share as a resource, because it might give you some different ideas about how you can be effective. Another thing is that I know I don't have a lot of time to draft emails anymore, but if I come across an email, sometimes people send out like form emails, or they give you links on their Facebook posts, and that is a great way to copy and paste. You can plug in some emails, you can have a script to call, and it requires less time, right? But you can still be effective in that way. So I think for some of us when we don't know what to do, when we just feel stuck, a lot of it will be to explore some different options, to get silent, to tune into what feels right for you. And that is, when we are in our heart space, when we're in our heart center, that is when we make the greatest shift in the world. And with that, I just want to say that, we can be in love and be angry at the same time. We can be in love and be pissed at the same time. Anger is a sacred emotion, just like every other emotion that we experience. We are sacred, holy temples, having sacred, holy experiences, and our emotions are a part of that. And in cases like this, anger can be the fuel to create some really powerful change. I think for me, what's important is that I recognize that my anger can coexist with love, and it can bring me into a deeper place of love. I shared on Facebook yesterday, and I'll share here again, that I had a very powerful dream before I woke up yesterday morning. And in my dream, I dreamt that I was in a community of women that I belonged to, and we were all together holding hands and dancing, and I could feel this immense love between all of us. We were all connected by a red thread through our heart centers, and I could feel the love, and I woke up with that expression of love very alive in me. And so I came across the information about what happened in Las Vegas, and I was pissed, but I also was holding that deep, deep love within me, and that love with the anger is what has pushed me, prompted me to want to know, how can I make a difference? And does anyone have any questions or anything that they want to share? I'm happy to answer anything about what I've just talked about or anything else. And I would also just love to hear if you know of an organization or if you're connected to any people who could use some support and help. I would love to hear that too. And also you could just share in the comments so that other people have resources to check into. I don't see any questions. I really hope that this was helpful for you all, and I would love for you to comment and share, and I will also share the resource that I just talked about. And I look forward to connecting with you all again really soon. Thank you so much, and I am sending love out to all of you. Take care. Bye.